This is the 7th installment of the Noble Savage podcast, and we're sad to inform you that Noble Savage is a name that's actually copyrighted. We didn't know that.
Yeah, we messed up.
And, so this is our last podcast, and all we're really saying is that, go ahead, Trey, my bad.
The people who originally copyrighted it are actually about to take us to court.
About the name.
So, try to help us out, I guess. I don't know how, because we have to delete everything, so.
Yeah.
But, April Fools, you guys are crazy, man. Do you really think someone's that creative?
I don't think so.
No.
They're not sitting in this room.
No, definitely.
They are. No, they are sitting in this room.
Yeah, true, yeah.
They're in the room.
Creative people are right here.
The mic.
Hope you guys like our new feature.
Oh, yeah, we're going to fire it up with a little starting off beat.
Noble Savage Podcast.
And yeah, we're just playing with some new sound effects. That's Brennan Hines' beat. Check him out on Twitter at Brennan Hines. And he's got a SoundCloud you can find through his Twitter feed. Pretty good beats, actually. A lot of them are really good. We had a tough time finding one that we really liked.
Because there's so many.
Yeah, we used Say You Will on this podcast, and then in the future we're gonna use Lamborghini Dreams, I think. But this is the seventh installment of the Noble Savage podcast, and we are in fact not being sued because the Noble Savage is our name, and it always will be.
Always.
But me and Trey were having this conversation, and how much we absolutely despise cheating in a relationship, and we decided that might as well be a topic since we were both bouncing it off one another. And I'll let Trey take the reins on this one.
Yeah, primarily I was going to say shoot yourself in the face. But that's a little, that's almost condoning suicide, which is one of the greatest sins, biblically and ethically. Now, you could punch yourself.
Yeah, you can punch yourself right in the face.
Yeah, preferably pretty hard.
Yeah.
Because cheating, when you're in a relationship, and it really doesn't matter what kind. It can be married, and I'm saying cheating as in relationship-wise. It can be married, girlfriend.
Fiance.
Yeah, fiance. You guys are agreeing that the other person is your partner. As in, you are not going to have, unless you're a Mormon, but you are, what?
Actually, they've come out recently and said that that's not a thing. Like in other countries it is, but not in the United States. But it used to be. You could just have multiple wives.
Well, I mean, Noble Savage Podcast is an international podcast.
Yeah. So maybe I should shut my mouth and let Trey take it over. I'm just kidding.
No, but seriously, if that's a certain amount of trust that you're putting in another person, and especially if that person isn't cheating too, but that doesn't make it okay if the other person is. But even if that person is cheating too, like that is just it's a violation of trust. And to really, I just went cross-eyed staring at the mic. But it's a violation of trust, and for you to not have enough self-discipline and to hold your desire by the reins, it's just ridiculous. That person is putting their faith in you. Hopefully, if they're a morally righteous person, that they are putting their faith in you and not going out there and doing stuff behind your back. But do you think it's really okay to go out and do stuff behind their back? And the people that are listening to this right now, and I'm going to be heavy on you, if you were drunk and I'm not coming from a place to where I've been cheated on, but I can feel the intensity of if I was, that if you have cheated on someone and you blamed it on alcohol or other drugs, then you should have known that you are in a precarious situation that could result badly if you are not in control of yourself. Now, that's the whole part of being responsible. That's a big word in people. It's been so used so much that it's been pejorated that responsibility is the power that you wield. You wield the power to not drink that, to not drink that shot. You wield the power to get away from that girl who might, or that man, if you're a woman or another guy, that is tempting you. Get away from it. And I believe that cheaters, now, no, I don't care how you take it. Cheaters are the worst people. That means they falsely guided someone, or misguided someone, I should say. Falsely guided someone. In other words, misguided someone to believe that they are a morally righteous person and that they will hold back all their desires because they love you. And to really destroy someone's their ballast, which means their mental stability, is ridiculous. That's downright
horrible.
Yeah, it's inhumane. And like we were talking about was people who cheat on their girlfriend or so. The girl will never ever trust someone as much as they did you before you ruin their whole outview on guys. Now you've taken another woman that some actually nice guy could have had. You know, you're so selfish that you can't see down the road that what you're doing is going to have various negative outcomes.
Yeah, it's one thing to be an a-hole with women. Just stay single. Right. Just stay single.
And like I was saying, if you're having these desires and you really see something that you want, you know what? Break up with that person. It's way more socially acceptable to be called shallow than a cheater.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, if you're hanging around people who say cheating is okay, then you know what? Those are bad people too, and you shouldn't be basing anything off of them. Yeah,
you should get away from those people and find a new group of friends. But we're not attacking anyone. But come on, really?
I kinda.
No, you're not. You're saying something that's true. I mean, it's just not something you should do, and it's very avoidable. There's a lot of things you can do to prevent that. Just don't be in a relationship or control what you're doing.
Right.
And the problem is especially with a relationship, it's such a delicate dance. You know, you do one thing, it can just shatter someone. Like you said, it can shatter someone's complete confidence in themselves, and it does ruin them for a lot of other people, and it takes a lot of work of someone else to get them to trust them.
Because they're putting a lot of their person into someone else, and that's what drives people really to suicide, because when something tragic like that happens, all of their faith was put into this one person, and they completely destroyed it. Then why would they have any trust in the human race?
Mm-hmm, exactly. But we also urge you not to put your faith in other people.
No,
don't
definitely.
trust people.
See,
anyone.
Your happiness should not be dependent on anyone.
Now, if someone adds to that happiness of your own self, that's perfect. That's a person who belongs in your life. But it all depends. It all falls on you. You have to be happy.
It would be a factor you couldn't control if you put all your happiness into
someone
else.
Yeah, you can put some of your happiness. We're just saying don't put a majority of it or a lot of it. And yeah, I mean, just cheating is, and the problem is the cheaters are those people that expect the woman to be faithful.
Right.
Like a day before they cheated, or were planning to cheating, or if they were cheating and they caught the girl cheating, they would bombard her.
It's like being a little baby or
It's a coward. You are the biggest. If you're listening to me and you've cheated on a girl, and not only have you cheated on her, that you've made her feel worse about herself after she caught you. Because you weren't smart enough to keep her from finding out that you were cheating, and you were cheating, then I just can't even express how crazy that is.
No, because look,
you are a coward.
You're literally like, let's say there's two babies or two dogs, and one of the baby grabs the toys, right? And it's a certain and you expect that baby to not be happy with that toy, so you don't let that baby or that dog have that toy. But once they turn around, you take that toy. That's called being selfish, my friend. And
yeah, you are a selfish coward.
And hopefully this will open up people's eyes and say, okay, what exactly is that person doing right now? Now, don't hire a spy.
Here, run out and accuse your ex of anything.
Yeah, please.
Because we believe in relationships more than anything. We're just focusing. We're really focusing on a negative point. Or later in this podcast, we're going to talk about something happy and positive about relationships. But right now,
there has been an extreme emotional change in your relationship in some way or the other, then maybe that should be a little bit more discussed topic. Now, discuss it. Unless that person is really known for lying, which is, I don't know why you're with them then, but discuss it, because that's how false accusations happen.
And communication is so key in a relationship. I mean, you need to be able to express yourself fully at all times and truly be honest with the person. the book I'm reading now is saying that fear is the biggest killer of relationships. And the reason that is because we can manifest things that won't happen or aren't happening now. And we can play them out in our heads. It's what separates us from animals. It's a huge part of our brain. And the fact that we can manifest these ideas create real fears within us. They create these real inhibitions, these real and what we do is we freak out and we allow this one thing to ruin something that's a big picture that's so great. And we constantly ask you to be aware. Be aware. If someone's doing a lot of shady stuff, figure it out. But more than likely, they're not. They're probably taking care of you, and they're being great to you. We're not saying majority. We're just saying if you're part of that few, we feel for you, and we're sorry. And if you've been cheated on, that's so bad.
Yo,
we're
it's
sorry.
crazy, man, how everything you say ties in what I have written down, whatever I say ties in. But what he's saying, to put it kind of in a phrase, is mindless self-assurance, which is accusations. Mindless self-assurance can give away to humility. So you have to summon your courage to really communicate. You have to communicate. That's one of the biggest deals. But back on cheating, yeah, we need to get away from that. But that's a very heavy topic, and I'm sorry to throw that on.
I have a good topic. This isn't sad at all.
Let's go.
I want to just talk about honesty and what it does, because I promise you, if you're holding back anything from somebody, and there's obviously there's situations where you shouldn't tell people things. Lies are necessary, in my opinion. But especially being someone who can see that people lie a lot.
There can be kind dishonesty. But that's as far as
I'm
going to take it.
Yeah.
Kind
well, there's always a code in Eastern philosophy, and it's never be violent. And then the second one is don't lie, and they're of importance. So if you're being violent by being truthful, you don't do it, because it's being violent, not being violent is above it. But what I was going to say is, honesty is so, not only is it a great thing, but it's disarming. If you come at someone with just full honesty, it's amazing what it does. And there's nothing bad that will come of it. I promise you that. I will put my life on that statement. Unless you did something, like if you did cheat on someone and you're being honest about that, I'm not saying that's going to, but it's going to at least bring it forth and stop that person from being cheated on. But being honest with someone with anything, whether the way you feel about them or how you think of them or whatever, it frees that anticipation, that pit in your stomach, and it's healthy. Honesty is so healthy. We're made to be honest and communicate, and the reason we developed language was because we wanted to get exact points across instead of making nonverbal signals, because for a while we didn't have speech, obviously, as a species. And the reason, I read this today, the reason that we developed speech was because we wanted to tell you exactly how we were feeling. The reason you're speaking right now is because biologically we're made to say exactly what we mean. And so when you do that, it's very healthy, and it's getting in contact with your true self, which is the goal of this podcast and the goal of my life, the goal of Trey's life, and the goal of what should be everyone's life. And it's not like us shoving our belief down. It's that true self makes you happy, and you know it. Everybody knows that true self that really, and that person that really makes them, not the person, but the person you are while you're being your true self. You love that person. Right,
because honesty goes along with life, and life is dynamic. So what you want to do is try to avoid static mindsets, and that's what you're doing if you're not taking in someone's honesty. You have to take it, even if it's rude to you, even if you perceive it as rude. Now, if that person if that person's a really good friend, then you should be empathetic enough to realize that person is not trying to offend me. They're trying to help me. So you want to avoid that static mindset, because how can we learn anything if we believe we know everything?
Yeah, I wanted to say avoid yes men. Men.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have friends that no matter what you do tell you you're doing something right, they are not your true friends.
That's not reality.
It's not.
Freedom comes through complete
acceptance. And they will allow
you,
and those people will allow you to rationalize whatever you do. And no matter how great or how bad it is, you will think you are doing good. And nothing is more dangerous than someone thinking they're doing something good when they aren't. And yeah, it's not bad to have people like that, but I'm just saying, don't closely surround yourself with people like that. They're unavoidable.
Only surround yourself.
You need to have people. Me and Trey are very critical of one another. We're obviously our biggest critics, but aside from that, if we're doing something wrong or there's something that we can fix, Trey's gonna let me know. and I'll let him know. And we usually ask each other. It's usually not one of us berating the
Right.
other. It's the other one going, look, what I did this, it didn't feel right. Am I being insecure about it? The other day, we had back-to-back podcasts where I thought I did horrible, and Trey's like, no, dude, you're fine. And he didn't say that because he wanted to protect my feelings. He
Right.
said it because it was true. And then the next podcast, Trey had the same thing. Trey's like, I just wasn't flowing right, and I'm like, dude, you were sharp as ever. You know, and it goes both ways. You need to know that your friend can be honest with you when you think you're doing bad and you're not. And you need a friend that when you're doing bad, they'll tell you that you're slipping up. And I had a good voice crack there, but you need to surround yourself, because who you surround yourself with is who you are. And you don't have to have this large friend group. It's great to hang out with in large numbers, but man, keep that inner circle very close and very limited, because the less people, the less drama, the less crap you have to deal with, and you want to choose quality over quantity.
And
all day.
Right. With that, you would avoid bigotry, which is you have no empathy of the other, like of another type of belief. Or so if someone, let's say this will be for women, you put on a dress and say, do I look fat? Now, I definitely do not recommend this for men. But let's say that guy says, yeah, you look fat. But what if now you think in the big picture, instead of that 5 seconds of humility that you take as disrespect, imagine this. Now you go, if he says, you look fine, you go buy that dress. You go to a public place and everyone looks at you like you're some kind of pig. Like you look terrible in that dress. You have to be open.
Yeah, and the 5 seconds of a pride to your pride that would take would save you hours of
and
discomfort
make you a
in the
stronger
future,
person,
and it
turn.
would allow you to buy a better dress.
Right. Just take out your ego. Jesus, not everyone is perfect. So when you hear an honesty about you that maybe you didn't convey of yourself,
it's hard to take. Trust us.
No.
It's very hard to take criticism, but learn how to do it.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Exactly. And I just can't, we can't stress enough that you got to look at that event. That's a perfect analogy, and it's something I want to explain, is we like to focus on the one thing. Like if you go at the end of the day, you go, and someone asks you how your day was, you usually pick the worst thing that happened in the day, and you allow that to have you just gave that one stupid moment where a stranger probably said something rude to you for no reason.
Relevance into your life right now.
And you took that 1 minute of your 24-hour day, and that shaped your entire day. And you're allowing it to shape your entire day. That event did not shape the course of your day. You did. And you allowed that event to completely ruin your day. And I saw a quote today by the great UFC champ, John Bones Jones. And it said, today is a great day to have a great day. And I thought that quote was awesome. And, it's what you make it. I mean, every day could be bad. Every day could be good. It's really how you perceive it.
Right. And we know that there aren't good days without bad days.
It's just like yin and yang. I mean, it's the dark and the light in a perfect balance.
Right. We've talked about this in previous podcasts. So
But if we reiterate it, it's that important.
it is important. It's just like what your teacher says when they say, oh, you've seen this before. You know what that means. It's going to be on the test. It's important. And that test is your test of life and fulfillment. But I'm just going to create a brief summary about it because we went into depth in one of our earlier podcasts. So check those out. And I'm not going to tell you which, so you have to go through every single one. But yin yang is just, okay, imagine this. No, I'm not going to use an analogy because then I'll just get deep into it. Yin yang is that you cannot have good without the bad because the good shapes the bad and the bad shapes the good. That means if you lived in an all good life, then there would be no good. You wouldn't perceive it as good because you've never felt bad, and vice versa. So
it takes the darkest skies to release the brightest stars.
Right. And yeah, I love that analogy. But yeah, it's crazy to expect that you're only going to have good in your life. Is just
it's setting you up for bad.
It's infeasible. You cannot capture that. You have to realize that things aren't going to go my way.
And that's the ego again.
Right. But here's what happens. You go through life with a focus. And that focus is finding your fulfillment and being open, hopefully.
And happy.
And things are gonna hit you. But you're going with the Dow movement. You're flowing downstream. Things are gonna hit you. You are gonna hit your bumps, those roller coasters, up and down. But you know what? After a certain moment, you're gonna arrive right at the right point, because you are able to take in everything. You are a complete open individual. Now, there's still gonna be negatives in your life, but you know how to capture those negatives and use them to even better yourself more for the future.
Yeah, and we're gonna wrap this one up really, really early, I think. And here's the thing: I'm gonna shout out "Steal Like an Artist." Wow, what an awesome book!
Life changer.
It is a life changer.
It's a 30-minute book you can get through reading.
It's like 125 pages, but they're literally half the pages of a real book, and there's pictures on every other page, and it's awesome.
That covers it.
It's fun to read, and like me and Trey have said, we do enjoy reading at times, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed reading this book.
No, that was like a TV show in a smart way.
Yeah, it was a good time.
By Austin Kleon, by the way.
Shout out his website while we're sitting here. It's in the back.
Okay.
Or like on the back flap, I think. But shout outs, MylanMurphy.com, MylanMurphy.com. Mylan's a motivational speaker, former student at Woodridge. Look him up. He's a great dude. I'm honored to call him my friend. And should be coming on the podcast sometime in the near future. He lives out of state, so we'll see. Guests are soon, people. Very soon.
Oh yeah, we have a mic.
We have the equipment for guests, and we cannot be happier about it, because it's going to add not only our perspective on things, but a fresh perspective, and it'll really allow. We don't have to come up with these random topics, because we'll have someone who knows a lot, and we'll be able to tie it into our message and really add to what they have. And if you know of anybody that's a master of any, or yourself as a master of any trade, send. If you know a lot about something, we'll have to sit down with you and hear what you got to say. We'll go out to lunch.
We have conspiracy theorists lined up. We have lawyers. We have philosophers, socialists, and hopefully professional athletes.
Yeah, and we are just looking forward constantly, and we encourage you to please, if you give us a shout out and ask people to follow, because that's the best way to get it out. Is if we have the more followers we have, the less you have to see me post a link as Bane Kane and then post a link as Noble Savage.
Yeah,
because I just need to make the Noble Savage account a lot bigger. And
follow us on Twitter at capital N Noble, capital S Savage, and then a capital P Pod. Noble Savage Pod.
And subscribe on our YouTube channel. And we sincerely, this is the homework, we sincerely ask you to give us a topic. And another idea we have is, if anyone's interested, we're going to start doing a roundtable discussion, probably on the weekends, probably Saturday, I would assume.
Yeah, probably at a real casual, leisurely place.
Yeah, probably like a restaurant or some place. We're gonna get
a coffee shop,
a big table together, and men, women, everyone's invited, and that's your chance to bounce. If you don't really want to listen to this, and you don't know if you're not comfortable with this yet, come find us.
Come find out what we're about,
and we'll share the message in person, because we can convey it 10 times better in person, I think.
So after you followed us, we're gonna tweet when we're going to have them and where we're going to have them.
Exactly. And everybody is invited. I don't care if we have people out the door. We want everybody's stories, opinions, and if you want us to do research, send it to us ahead of time, and we'll look it up, and we'll help you.
And heck, man, invite us to some of you guys'. Maybe you guys have round tables that you're already doing. Invite us to those.
And we encourage you, if you don't talk deeply with people often, do it. It's so therapeutic. It's amazing.
People think that we're at a not feasible level, but we just got here from talking.
And school us. We want to be beat at something. We want you to bring a topic that we know nothing about, and you slap us around, because that's how we grow, and that's how we become knowledgeable.
If you beat us, you're actually helping us.
If we hang around people who are not as smart as we are, not saying we are smarter than anyone, but I read this today, we will never achieve a different level.
Right,
if we're never being beat by anybody, we'll never reach the level.
We don't have a backbone to know where we're at.
And we're comfortable enough with ourselves to say, look, we'll put our ideas out there, but and we can be wrong. So I'm Josh Kane.
And I'm Trayvon Burgess.
Reminding you always to keep it noble.
And keep it savage.